Hello, my name is Ashley Lee. I'm going to be presenting my Human Resources Portfolio PLC plan. This is the aspect of my portfolio that deals with professional learning communities. I am the principal at Bridgeport Elementary School, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how PLCs work. So what is a PLC? So a professional learning community, which is also called a PLC, is a team of educators who share ideas to enhance their teaching practice and create a learning environment where all students can reach their fullest potential. So where did PLCs come from? So the origin of PLCs came from a thing called organizational learning. So in the 1960s, researchers started looking into ways of learning and having it organized. From that, professional learning came about. Professional learning is where anybody gets together and shares information and ideas and you learn from it. So that's kind of very, very broad. And then in the aspect of education, PLCs in education is going to be a more specialized PLC. It involves a common goal of student success and better teaching skills from the beginning. So the difference here is this is just people getting together and learning. PLCs in education, in terms of education, is where we go in with a goal in mind. What is our goals? And if you know your goals, you can try to reach them. So what does a successful PLC look like? So we have a lot of schools sometimes that say they do PLCs because they have to. So they might be, meeting every month, but there's no real success in those programs. So we're going to look at how to make it successful. So according to Devour and Reeves, a successful PLC is teamwork. Number one is teamwork. This is where PLC members must work together to reach a common goal. So no more islands, no more teachers, or schools rather, just doing their own thing. Their teachers in their classrooms doing their own thing. We're going to work together. We're going to teach alike. We're going to teach the same curriculum, have the same tests, and look at the results together. The second one is curriculum, like I said. So this is where teachers or the PLC team, regardless of what it's made up of, are going to create a curriculum that adheres to the state standards, all while being tailored to a specific student or specific group of students. And then we have assessments. So number three talks about assessments. So PLC members must know how to effectively create assessments that are going to adhere to that curriculum that they made. Next up is results. PLC members can read results of assessments and act on them. So this is like, how do you read those tests? We're just not going to say, maybe little Johnny made a 54 on my assessment for this set of standards. He didn't get it, move on. So what do I do with Johnny? How do I make him learn? How do I reach him? So being able to look at that data and read that data is very important. And lastly, we have intervention. If I can get it up here. There we go. So intervention is where PLC members are to develop ways to integrate intervention that does not involve taking away class time. So teachers have to be very strategic, and the PLC team has to be very strategic in how they're going to do this. Okay, so how am I going to implement this at my school at Bridgeport Elementary? We're going to look at it in terms of math. Why? Because my school is ranked right now in our county, in Jackson County. We are ranked number 1 in reading, and we're ranked number 1 in math for grades 2 through 4. That's who takes the STAR assessment, which is what we use for progress monitoring. But when we got to looking at our last data meeting, although we're ranked number 1 in math, we broke it down by grades. We've met with each grade level team, and when we did that, we pulled up 3rd grade. We were the last in the county. We pulled up 2nd grade, and we were middle of the road. And then as far as our early lit, we're also low in math there. So our 4th grade teachers are actually pulling us up. They're that good. They're pulling us up to be number 1 in the county. So I want kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade to be just as successful as our 4th grade. So that's why I chose to look at math and try to really dig into that as far as a PLC goes. So meet my PLC team. What's my PLC team going to look like? It's going to involve math teachers. So anybody, K4 math teachers are going to be involved in this PLC. Here we have 2 teachers a grade. So a lot of the times those teachers will meet. It's very informal and go over how they're going to teach. But I want it to be a little bit more formal and more professional so that we can actually look at results. It's going to involve me. I'm always involved, especially when it comes to student success. I don't ever try to put those things off on anybody else. I want to be involved. I want to know what our teachers are doing. I want to know how our kids are doing and what we're doing to make them successful. Also, I will involve our media specialist, which is our librarian. Our librarian is an old math teacher. She was a very good math teacher, so she can provide some insight on that as well. And then lastly, we're going to have a math specialist come in, whether that be we're going to call her the fourth grade math teacher that's really good, our math specialist, or if we're going to have a math specialist come in from the county. So we have reading interventionists or reading specialists here at the school, but we do not currently have a math specialist. So I might have to borrow one from another school or from the district. So these people will make up my PLC team at Bridgeport Elementary School. So what are my goals for PLC? Our goals, we're going to follow those 5 steps or 5 principles to the successful PLC. But what are my goals after I follow those steps? So I'm not sure if you can see that very well. But my number one goal is to increase student success in math for our lower grades here at BES. My goal number 2 is to create a more streamlined approach to math in the classroom. So I want everybody, doing the same things. I don't want teacher A doing it one way and teacher B doing it another. We're going to do the same thing. Because if we can find a curriculum that works, that way you don't have to rely on the skills of the teacher as much. Number 3, I want to assess math data just as we do our reading data. So because of the Literacy Act of 2019 in the state of Alabama, we have really dove into reading and how we're going to make all of our students successful in reading. I want to do the same for math. I want to have, I want our PST teams, our problem-solving teams, to focus on math just as we do reading. And lastly, I would like to develop a math intervention plan. So we have an intervention plan right now for reading. We use SPIRE. I would like to, see as much thought and as much of our processes and practices here go into math as far as an intervention plan goes. So those are my goals for our math PLC at Bridgeport Elementary. So the commitment involved, this is going to, like I said, a lot of people have PLCs, but they don't necessarily dive in and have full buy-in. The commitment involved in a good PLC, if you want it to be successful, you have to be consistent. So the first thing is consistency. All parties involved must be willing to consistently put in the work throughout the school year. This is not a gung-ho thing in August, September, and then it dies off. You have to hit it hard every single month, every single meeting. And then another thing I think is important as far as commitment involved, how do I get my teachers to buy in? How do I get my teachers, to make sure for them to know that this is important to me and this is important to our school? I think principals have to commit to the overall process of a PLC for math just as they do reading. So I'm committed. I'm willing to do that. And I think once my teachers and once my staff see that how important it is to me and how much I'm working for that, they also will buy in just as I do. So ending thoughts. Creating a math PLC program at Bridgeport Elementary will help ensure our scores throughout grade levels are consistent with each other. This will help with certain grades having to make up past content in order to move forward. So our fourth grade teachers have kind of had a burden on them of having to make up second and third grade skills in order to start their fourth grade skills. They're doing a great job at it, but it's not their job. They shouldn't have to do that. So I want us to, to have a strong foundation when we reach each grade. I want them to know that we have covered everything that we need to in the years past. And that's it. Thank you very much.